Hi, I'm Deb Miller. I'm the director of the Public Management Center at the University of Kansas. I'm pleased to introduce this webinar series. We've missed engaging with you live and in person. Who knew something so common could now feel so precious and valued? Though not live and in person, we hope these webinars will provide you with a convenient outlet to continue learning, and in this now daily virtual way, connecting with other public sector professionals. Because they are pre-recorded, you can view the webinars as your schedule allows, share them with others if you choose, and listen to key points more than once. Each of our speakers has offered to make themselves available to answer your questions. If you have questions, please leave them in the chat or in the comments below. We will either connect you with the presenter or respond to you with an answer. Here at the PMC, we believe that public service lies at the heart of democracy. During these strange, uncertain times, you are doing democracy in ways you never imagined and finding workarounds you never expected to need. We salute you and hope that in some small way, we can support and assist you in your work.
Ryan Vincent serves as Executive Director of Kansas Housing Resources Corporation. A 15-year veteran of the corporation, he previously served as staff attorney, general counsel, and deputy director. Ryan is a graduate of Washburn University and Washburn University School of Law, and has been a licensed attorney since 2005. In his free time, he enjoys serving on several nonprofit boards, volunteering, traveling, gardening, and Nerf gun battles and board games with his 2 boys.
Well, thank you so much for this opportunity. My name is Ryan Vincent. I'm Executive Director at Kansas Housing Resources Corporation. Thank you to Lacey. Thank you to Ruth. Thank you to the KU Public Management Center for this opportunity. We take our mission of unlocking home very seriously at Kansas Housing Resources Corporation. So we appreciate partnerships and the ability to go out in communities, whether it's in person or virtually, share about some of the great work that we're able to achieve through those partnerships across our state, ultimately for those we serve. So with that, I'm going to take some time today. I'm going to give an overview of Kansas Housing, our mission, our programs, give a little overview of some of the different work that we do, as well as some examples. And then I'm going to spend most of my time giving an overview of our newest program, the Kansas Eviction Prevention Program, which meets the overwhelming need for eviction assistance during this time of the COVID pandemic. So with that, I'm going to share my screen here, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up a PowerPoint. So if you'll give me just a moment here. All right, you should be seeing my screen now. And again, this is an overview of the Kansas Eviction Prevention Program, as well as some of the other information on KHRC. Beginning with who we are. Kansas Housing is a self-supporting public corporation. We used to be a part of the Department of Commerce years ago. But what we do is we administer housing and community programs across our great state. Our mission is simple. We help Kansans access the safe, affordable housing they need and the dignity they deserve. We think that piece about dignity is just absolutely integral to everything that we do. And we hope that you'll see that as we go through this presentation today. Well, who do we work with? We work with you. We work with any stakeholder across the state of Kansas. Those may include government officials, lenders, business leaders, developers, property managers, realtors, nonprofits, government agency. If you're a taxpayer, if you live in the state of Kansas, if you care about housing, you are a stakeholder of KHRC. As far as our programs, they really run the gamut from emergency housing, literally providing a roof over people's heads when they don't have that roof, to community solutions, to housing development, the actual development of that physical housing that's so important across the state in this time when we have such a need for affordable housing. We offer programs for homeownership, weatherization, as well as compliance. And I'm going to speak briefly just about each one of these programs today. I'm reserving most of my time for this new eviction prevention program. So beginning with our Community Solutions Program, KHRC administers a number of different programs through partnerships with agencies around the state. Whatever region of the state you live in, we have a network of housing providers and community providers in that area. Each of these programs has a link embedded in it. As you have time, I'd encourage you to check it out. Click on the link, find out who the partners are in your particular community, and find out about the resources and the programs that they administer. Our Emergency Solutions Grant actually provides homeless assistance and assistance for those that are at risk of becoming homeless, which is a vital need during any time, but particularly during the time of COVID, it's just absolutely integral. We administer a Community Services Block Grant, or CSBG program. It's an anti-poverty program that serves the lowest income Kansans. Throughout the state, we have 8 wonderful community action agencies. Many people are familiar with community action agencies as organizations that run the Head Start programs, which is preschool programs. That's a very important service, but there's so much more that they do. They provide food services, transportation, housing assistance. We've got funds through these community action partners to provide rental assistance and to just help people get back on their feet when they're experiencing poverty. Continuing on, we also offer a tenant-based rental assistance, or TBRA program. This program helps income-eligible households with rent and with security and utility deposits. It's so vital to get people stable, adequate housing so that their needs are met and they can concentrate on all those other areas that require so much attention. So check out the TBRA program, check out the TBRA providers around the state and in your community. Lastly, we offer in this area, we offer a weatherization assistance program. It's a wonderful program that's free for income eligible households, whether it's seniors, persons with disabilities, or just low income persons. What's wonderful about this program is it doesn't just address the effect. It doesn't just help pay utility bills like some programs. Instead, it's addressing the long-term consequences of the program, or of high efficiency or high energy usage. That includes making weatherization improvements so that we can cut down on air infiltration. By investing in the short term, we're making long-term returns for low-income households, where they save money month after month after month that they can use for other important needs in their household. So that's an overview of our community solutions programs. Turning to housing development, a big area of the work that we do is developing affordable, safe, quality, accessible multifamily housing around the state. These are financed through our various programs, from our low-income housing tax credit program to our home rental development and National Housing Trust Fund program. I could spend hours talking to you about the details of each program, but what it amounts to is that just in 2019 alone, we were able to award 22 projects in communities across our state. We were able to build 1,436 housing units that are quality housing, that are going to be long-term investments in your communities around the state. So we're proud of that. And since a picture tells 1,000 words, I'm going to share a couple pictures here shortly to better describe that. But I did want to touch on our moderate income housing program. This is our only state-funded program. We get $2 million a year, and it never goes far enough, but we're so grateful for that resource. Through this program, we are able to give grants to cities and counties in rural communities to be used for infrastructure, for single and multifamily rental development, for down payment assistance. And this funding is provided through the state, and we are able to leverage $5 to $7 to $9 every year in outside funds to be used to address this moderate income housing need. Well, why is there a moderate income housing need? We have some resources. It's never enough to be able to address the needs of low income housing clients. But unfortunately, there's a band of income people that may be our teachers, they may be our nurses, they may be our law enforcement officers, firefighters, essential people in our society that make too much to qualify for low income housing assistance, but they don't make enough to be able to build or to be able to maintain their own home. through this MIH program, we're able to help bring down the cost to ensure that we're able to get quality housing in rural communities. That in turn allows for economic development, for downtown revitalization, and for so much more. So we're pleased to be a part of a catalyst for positive change throughout the state. Let me give you a couple examples of just some properties that we've done. This is the old Lee Lofts building, or Lee building in downtown Salina. It was a 53-unit historic rehab that we were able to do. We were able to address the need for affordable housing in Salina. More importantly, and as importantly, we were able to help with the downtown revitalization. We were able to save a historic structure where Lee Jeans started. In fact, you can actually go through the building and still see the stains on the concrete where the ink from the printing presses from years ago. But we also are helping the economy in Salina. So it's a win-win-win situation, and Kansas Housing is just thrilled to be a part of that. Another example comes from Dodge City. This is our moderate income housing program where we were able to build 14 units of important housing for that community to address the moderate income housing needs. But I think what's really telling about this one was that we were able to build it in partnership with Dodge City Community College students, so that we're investing not just financially, but in the long-term ability for contractors to work in those communities. Is in Astra, where we were able to provide funding for the historic YMCA building. This was awarded in 2018, and we were able to get 16 units of vitally needed housing in the city of Atchison. It's a historic structure. It's an important part of downtown, an important part of that community. And here's what it looks like on the inside now. Beautiful housing units, quality, safe, helps the economy, helps revitalize that particular building and save the history. So we're so pleased to be a part of that as well. So that was an overview of our rental development programs. We also have a homeownership division at KHRC. We are able to provide down payment assistance through participating lenders across the state. It's a wonderful program where qualifying home buyers can apply for a 0% loan that's forgiven over a 10-year period as long as those homeowners stay in the home. Through this program, we've been able to assist 184 Kansas households achieve the dream of homeownership last year alone, or last couple of years. So we're just thrilled to be a part of that. We still believe in the value and the importance of homeownership, not just to families, but to neighborhoods and to communities. So we're honored to be a part of that. Make sure you click on that link and find out the participating lenders in your neck of the woods. And finally, I always like to remind people that we have a very healthy compliance department. And I know that's not very exciting to talk about, but every year we have a crew of people that go out and they inspect, they monitor 722 properties around the state. We do this for a variety of reasons. We want to make sure that the properties are maintained, that they're built as they were expected to be built, that they are serving the people they were intended to serve. We take our charge as stewards of government funds very seriously and ensure that these are long-term investments and that they hold up in your communities. So that's kind of an overview of our programs. And I wanted to transition now to housing during the time of COVID. You know, I like to talk about how important home is. And truthfully, home has never been more important. I've talked about how home is a shelter. Home is a four walls and a roof, but it's so much more than that. Home has always been a physical place of safety, a place where we can foster healthy families and healthy neighborhoods and healthy communities. But during the time of COVID, as we're all working from home, as we're all schooling from home, as we're all buying things from home, it's so much more. It's now our workplace. It's now our place for schooling. It's now our marketplace, the place where we can conduct and participate in doctor's appointments. We're able to worship from the safety of our homes. We're able to meet, whether it's a Cub Scout or 4-H or Kiwanis group, virtually in the safety of our homes and still be together. It's a social gathering spot. It's never been more important, and it is a hub that's absolutely essential during this time of pandemic for our society and for our state. I'm recognizing that Kansas has been active in trying to ensure that people stay in their homes. Our governor, along with the state CDC moratorium, have issued some moratoriums that are trying to keep people from being evicted during the COVID time and during the pandemic and the economic fallout from it. But so why is a program needed, I guess is the question. And the answer to that is that month after month after month, the rent continues to accrue for those tenants, even though they can't be evicted. In January, that bill is going to be due, and those families are going to face some severe hardship and worry. And we want to try to alleviate that and address that as early as possible. Similarly, landlords who can't evict tenants right now continue to accrue bills. They have mortgages to pay, they have taxes to pay, they have utilities to pay, they have maintenance costs that are all mounting. Many of them are small businesses, so their needs are escalating at the same time, which is why Kansas Housing has decided to work with the State Recovery Office and DCF to administer this program. So what's KHRC been able to do? Well, first of all, we've been able to supplement our ESG, Emergency Solutions Grant, and CSBG, the community action groups around the state, with some additional CARES funds to help people who are at risk of imminent homelessness. That's an important resource, but we recognize that it wasn't enough. So in partnership with the Recovery Office, we have started this new Kansas Eviction Prevention Program. Just a few statistics that I think are telling. 35% of our population in the state rent. As of the end of September, 12% of all of our renters, or 73,000 Kansans, were behind on their rent, which is just a stunning number. Even more stunning and even more scary is that by the end of the calendar year, experts are predicting that between 117,000 and 155,000, or 30 to 44% of all of our rental households in the state, could be at risk of eviction. Another source said 50,000 eviction filings were anticipated by January. We're talking about the tenants now, but let's think about the landlords. They so far have seen an average almost 12% decline in revenue and a 15% increase in operating expenses during this COVID outbreak. These people have bills to pay, as I've talked about, and they also have significant amounts of rental shortfall that's projected between $133 and $185 million. That's a huge amount of money that's not being paid and not being multiplied throughout our economy. And it's why we as the state needs to get on board to address this, and why we at Kansas Housing have been a part of addressing it. So what we did is we worked with Governor Kelly, the Spark Task Force, and DCF, and we've developed this Kansas Eviction Prevention Program, or KEPP. We provide rental assistance to tenant households that have missed one or more rental payments due to COVID. I'm going to quickly talk about how the program works, but then I'm going to actually pull up the program so you can see just how easy it is to maneuver. KHRC has developed a joint online process that can be done by landlords and tenants. They jointly apply. If we approve the application, then we actually provide the funds directly to the landlord on behalf of the tenant. In consideration for accepting that, the landlord agrees to waive any late fees for the months that they receive the assistance. We have capped the amount of rental assistance at $5,000 per household. As far as eligibility, the important things are that the tenants have to have missed at least one rental payment since April, that they are legally authorized to be in the United States and Kansas residents, is their primary residence, and that they aren't receiving rental assistance from any other source. We do require that there's some kind of COVID nexus, that you must demonstrate as a tenant that the COVID pandemic has had an adverse impact on employment or health. This can be anything from loss of jobs, loss of hours, reduction of hours, inability to work due to illness, or a lack of childcare. As far as eligibility, we do require that it be tenants have household income that's below 85% of the state median area income. I've got a graph here. It's based on household size to show a good number of Kansans can fit within these income limitations. Should note that if a household is on TANF, SNAP, or LEAP, they automatically qualify for the income portion of this program. And then here's the steps to apply. Basically, it's through this online portal I'm going to be showing you in just a moment. You'll receive an email confirmation. Tenants will provide information to the landlord. The landlord will upload it. KHRC staff will review it, and we will authorize payment directly to the landlord. We recognize that there's a lot of people that may not have the means, wherewithal, the ability to be able to access an online database system. We also understand that sometimes just maneuvering these things can be challenging. So we have dedicated, wonderful community partners around the state that you can search through our website and search by the county that you reside in, and hopefully find a wonderful partner to help you maneuver this application system. Finally, I'm just going to take a moment here and I am going to actually pull up our website so you can see what it looks like. So if you'll give me just a moment here. All right, so this is our Kansas Eviction Prevention Program website. As you can see, it's a very easy maneuver. Describes the need for why we have this program, as I've gone over today. Gives a brief description of the program itself, as well as the audience served and the funding source. I briefly touched on the eligibility criteria, which is in better detail listed here on our website. And then the steps on how to apply itself. And I just wanted to kind of pull up to show you if you're a landlord, how to get certified. You just click on the certification link. It's a very instructive, pretty basic form to fill out for the landlord themselves, as well as uploading all the information and certifications that they require. And close that out. And now I'm going to show you what the tenant application itself looks like. Again, it states all the qualifications. Very user-friendly, talks about the landlord's name, the tenant's information, income, and the COVID discussion, as well as what specific months the people are behind on, and then you submit the form to us. Going back now, I'm going to just show you that we've got, I'd mentioned the partner search. Just to show you, I'm going to click on search and say that I live in Sedgwick County. I'm going to pull up Sedgwick County and show you all the different providers, housing partners that you can go to, whether it's SCID, Mennonite Housing, Kansas Legal Services, Breakthrough Episcopal Social Services, wonderful trusted community partners that could help you maneuver this system. I'm going to close that down, and I just did briefly want to show you a couple of the different resources we have at the bottom of the page. Everything from the flyer for tenants, which describes how it works, the various qualification requirements. We've got a nice flyer for landlords as well, and I know I'm flying through all of this. So I encourage you to check it out as you have time to get on our website. But very step-by-step procedures. And if that isn't helpful enough, we even have a nice landlord step-by-step, which gives every step of the process for both the landlord and the tenants. I've got the income limits that I've already shared through the presentation on our website here under resources. And finally, I really wanted to make sure that everyone was aware that we have a step-by-step tutorial video that shows exactly how to go through the system for anyone that has some questions. And then finally, regardless of whether you're a tenant, a landlord, or just an interested community member, I'd encourage you to check out, there's it's KEPP at KS Housing, which allows you to find out more information about this program. It is a first come, first serve resource. There is just a lot of need out there right now, and we don't know how long the funds will last. So the earlier that tenants and landlords can get their applications in, the better. Also, any way that you can help in your community get the word out there is very much appreciated. Finally, I'm just going to put my contact information back on the screen so that you've got it in case you have questions. And I'm pulling that up right now. That's got my email address as well as our website again. So thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity to partner, to get our word out for this important need, this important resource, and the important work of unlocking home that we at Kansas Housing do on the behalf of the entire state. Appreciate your time today.